In 2008, California rock band Weezer released their third self-titled album, The Red Album. Track 3 of that record is a nostalgic journey down a music-filled memory lane of the upbringing and formative years of frontman Rivers Cuomo in a ballad called Heart Songs. The lyrics culminate in his own experience of turning all of the musical influences of his life into his own opportunity to write, record, and perform music that went on to impact and inspire others. This podcast, similarly, traces the impact of music as it has highlighted and even inspired the life experiences of its guests. My name is Adam Blaylock. Welcome to Heart Songs, the podcast. This week on Heart Songs, the podcast, we have a country music and American folk singer. Please enjoy Luanne Hunt.
Gordon Lightfoot sang a song about a boat that sank in the lake at the break of the morning. A cat named Steve.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with a song called Abraham, Martin, and John.
Anybody here seen my old friend Abraham? Can you tell me where he's gone? He freed a lot of people, but it seemed good they die young. You know, I just looked around and he's gone.
It was about the assassinations of Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King, and John F. Kennedy, which I really knew nothing about at my young age. The writer of the song, Dick Holler, also wrote Snoopy vs. the Red Baron by the Royal Guardsmen. There was something so magical about Abraham, Martin, and John, and it gave me a feeling I really can't put into words. As an adult, I wound up working with the Royal Guardsmen for a few years, and through that association, I met Dick Holler, who truly is my songwriting hero. I remember visiting with Dick one day in a coffee shop and thinking to myself how amazing it was that his song had such an impact on me, and here I was sitting face to face with him all these years later. It's like it was meant to be somehow.
These are the songs I keep singing. Quiet riot got me started with the banging of my head. Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and Slayer taught me.
There's no question that John Denver's music had the greatest impact on me throughout my young life. I had all of his albums and listened to them over and over and over. John had a song called Looking for Space that I just couldn't get enough of.
And I'm looking for space and to find out who I am. And I'm looking to know and understand. It's a sweet, sweet dream. Sometimes I'm almost there. Sometimes I fly like an eagle. Sometimes I'm deep in despair.
I loved to sing along with it and really felt it deep down into my soul. From then on, I gravitated to songs that made me feel like that, and in the 70s, of course, there were so many.
These are the songs I keep singing. Back in 1991, I wasn't having any fun till my roommate said, "Come on and put a brand new record on." Had a baby on.
I grew up listening to a lot of folk and folk rock music, so country music was never on my radar. But in the late 1980s, more and more great artists were coming onto the scene, like the Judds, Randy Travis, George Strait, and Keith Whitley. I really loved the newer modern sound of the genre, so I quickly became hooked. There was an artist named Susie Boggess, and she came out in the 90s, and I really loved her songs and her style. There was one tune she had called Aces that I cut my vocal chops on because it fit my voice to a T.
Now you're ready to walk out. You're ready to run. Talk to me. Can't you see I would never want to do what it seems I've done? You can't deal with the aces. Then
I knew I would become a country artist from that point on. Early on in my songwriting career, my late husband Steve and I wrote a song called He's in Paradise with a Pair of Dice. While the title sounds like a novelty song, it was anything but. It has the most wonderful melody and a beautiful story about a lone gambler who gave up a family life to follow his passions. Our initial demo turned out well, but I always wanted to re-record it with a little different feel. So in 2024, in celebration of my 30th year in the music business, I produced it for my 24th studio album, Miles and Memories.
There is no better height. He's in paradise with a pair of dice. The craps table calls him by name. When he's rolling the bones, he feels right at home. Few others can make such a claim.
I decided to strip it down with just solo piano and classical violin, which turned out to be the right musical treatment to bring out the very best of this song. I reworked some of the lyrics and retitled it The Vice. I think I'm most proud of this song because it not only shows my growth as a singer and songwriter, but also the amazing chemistry my late husband and I had as a songwriting team. No one really believed in us at the beginning, but I think they're all believers now.
This is a song. These are my heart songs.
Thank you for joining us for Heart Songs, the podcast. If you'd like to be considered to be a guest in a future episode, please email the podcast at heartsongsthepodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.